What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Ben and JV from JBM Sports Media, and here we are giving you guys our reaction to the WBC Semi-Final that just took place between Team DR and Team USA. And yes, we do have a finalist right here in the form of Team USA advancing to the final for the third straight time. JV, if you want to hop right into it.
Yeah, man, this was a great game. I mean, unfortunately, this wasn't the final. I would have loved for this to be the championship deciding game, but unfortunately, we didn't get that. But this was a great game, all in all. I mean, we had three total runs, all coming from the solo home run. Junior Caminero providing that for the DR, and Gunnar Henderson, homering for the U.S., and Roman Anthony homering for the U.S. as well to put them ahead 2-1, which was the final score. So this was a pitching dominant game. It was a low-scoring game. It was something that I expected. I did expect a low-scoring game. I didn't expect DR to be the offensive juggernaut that it's been. I knew Paul Skeens was going to have a start like this. It was a start that was a good start, but he was definitely a little shaky. He did what he had to do. He grinded through four and a third innings, and he didn't walk anybody. That was the key for me. Even though his early struggles looked like he had some location issues, and he did give up that early home run, he wasn't able to put anybody on base via the ball, the walk. So that was a huge thing for me, and he was able to keep the strikeouts, pretty up there as well. I believe he had 4 strikeouts or 6 strikeouts, I believe. So his strikeout pitch was there. DR just got unlucky. I think they got unlucky with some calls. I think there was, the home plate umpire was definitely a little off, missing some pitches. Case in point, the final pitch of the game, Mason Miller throws a breaking pitch that was shin high. It wasn't a strike to me. It was about 2 to 3 inches off the plate. But that's how the cookie crumbles. But this was a great game. It really was overall. I think it was the two best teams in this World Baseball Classic, facing off to go to the championship. And now the U.S. is going to see who they play in terms of Italy and Venezuela, which I think is going to be a 50-50 battle between those two teams to decide who will face the USA in the final championship game. But this was, to me, a great game. I had the USA advancing, to the final and beating DR. In this round. So I guess it makes me look good. But this was a great game. This really was a great game, and I think it's something that we're going to talk about for a while because this game definitely brought the hype. In terms of watchability, I thought this was a great game to watch. It was definitely edgy a seat, and I thought it was a great game.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I think the thing that I was, like, for me personally, just fascinated at this game, just all the talent that was on this field, all-star potential Hall of Famers soon to be whenever they retire. It was absolutely fun to see, phenomenal to say the least. And the game didn't disappoint at all. There was aspects of it that I do believe were just distasteful, leaves a bad taste. And you mentioned it a little bit. I'm going to get into it in a little bit as well. But in general, I would say Team USA and how their bullpen really was able to adapt after Paul Skeens left the game was a great thing to see, and how they were able to stay firm, keep DR off the base pads. And I think one pitcher I want to give a lot of kudos to, Garrett Whitlock, went in there and he looked dominant. And looking at all these performances by these relief pitchers, it just gets me excited for the regular season coming up, because you kind of start feeling, all right, the WBC, obviously Team USA heads to the final, Venezuela, Italy tomorrow. We're right there at the end of this tournament, right there going into the MLB season. And I think that's what's getting me hyped about it even more and more. But obviously, props to DR. I think they had a great tournament. Such a dominant team right there. And even though the result didn't go their way today, I think the way that Albert Pujols managed that team, got to tip your hat to them. And obviously Team USA for advancing to their third straight final. Can't say more, but the storyline is there, whether it's Italy, Venezuela. I think it's still going to be an excellent final, even though this did feel like a final right here. But I want to lay out something that you mentioned right here, JV, and it's just such a horrible way to end the game right here. What is this call right here? This umpire, he had the same call with Soto in the at-bat in the 8th inning. This guy, man, why is ABS in spring training but not in the WBC? Obviously, that's one thing. At least
It's
in
a
the
great
semifinals.
question.
At least in the semifinals and finals. That's one thing I have to say. But 2, I don't even know who the umpire was, but he should lose his job. Not in a game like this. You can't cost the nation something like this in a game like this. It just can't happen. I think that was just the fact that it happened the inning before, and it happened again in the 9th inning to Perdomo, when that should have been a walk. That would have brought up Tatis first and
Right.
third. Come on, man. That's unacceptable for a game like this, the magnitude of this, going to the final. I get everybody's human, but this is why ABS is a thing. And I always tell people, if you're opposed to ABS, look at a situation like this, let alone I'm so glad that ABS is now in play, because if there's a call like in the World Series or in the NLDS, something like that, this bad, it could get fixed. Because bro, this was just horrible. I don't know what he was looking. This was really bad. I don't know. Obviously, you talked about it, JB, but I just thought it was super unacceptable by the umpire to have a call like this happen twice, because it happened to Soto in the
No,
inning before.
yeah, no, listen, you're 100% right. And I was actually going back and forth with my brother via text. And my brother was like, listen, not for nothing. I want them to win, but they're getting a lot of calls that they shouldn't be getting right now. And he was 100% right. And then I happen to think that the strike three pitch, at the end of the game, it looked better than what it did. And then when I saw the replay, I said, oh my God, that was really low. And my brother even said it. He was like, that pitch was 3 to 4 inches off the plate. And I said, really? It looked like a better pitch to me that he should have swung at to maybe try to foul off. But then looking at the replay, I was like, wow, that really was down, a little more down than I expected. And it's just, you can't have those calls happen. And you bring up a great point. Why is the ABS not implemented in this game? I don't understand it. They have the pitch clock.
They do.
I mean, Camilo Duvall actually got penalized and got a ball on Will Smith tonight. Will Smith was leading off the seventh. Duvall was pitching in the seventh inning, and he let too much time lapse. And the ump came right out and said, "Ball one. You let too much time go by." So if we're going by certain rules that were implemented in the last 2 or 3 years, then an ABS is supposed to go live in the majors. Obviously starting opening day. I don't know why that's not being implemented in the World Baseball Classic. I think if that's the rule should be the rule, and I think it should be implemented in this game because things like this happen. And I like think with the severity of what was on the line in a game like this, I think the ABS rule should have been implemented.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but like you said, I think the best way to put it is just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. And you could talk about like the what if situation right there, or like scenario, should I say, if Tatis comes up to bat against Miller, who honestly his slider just didn't look like he had it all day. That's why J Rod got to third base in general, but I don't know. I just think it just leaves a sour taste, but that's nothing to discredit the U.S. It's just more so a complaint on the umpire, because I think
Right.
just some bad calls, very bad calls in that game. But congratulations to the USA, because I think looking at how this team formed, and depending who starts the final for them, I think Joe Ryan said he's not going to start it. So I think it's probably going to be Nolan McLean.
Nolan McLean. Yeah,
I
that's what I
think it
thought
is.
too.
So if that's the case, now this could be very fun to watch. I'll be honest, just because he had a kind of distasteful outing against Italy. If he faces Italy again, will he make the adjustments? Will he not? If he faces Venezuela, that's a lineup that just upset Team Japan. So look,
Yeah.
there's storylines written all over this in this final, and whichever team does advance. I know we talked about Team Italy in the WBC breakdown we did as a team that we didn't see the hype around it a lot, but damn, they've proved us wrong in a multitude of ways. And if they are in the final, I would be happy to see them in the final, just with how I feel courageous and strong that team has looked in the pool play and in the quarterfinal.
Listen, I totally agree with you. I think the USA actually advanced all the way due to their pitching more than their offense. I know this offense had a phenomenal lineup, and they did put up some big runs in some games. But if you really want to look at the nitty gritty of how they advance, it's definitely their pitching. I mean, they have elite bullpen depth, high strikeout ability, and they mix it with their power arms that they had too in that bullpen and that rotation as well. I think that's the three big reasons of why they advanced, and they'll be facing either Italy or Venezuela in the championship game.
Yeah, I've been very like in general happy with this tournament, because I think this is great appetizer for the baseball season that's coming up. And as this tournament is dwindling down, and we have maybe obviously when this is recorded 2 more games left, um, it's just fire, bro. Because I'm looking at the calendar already, and I see Yankees Giants next weekend, next Wednesday on Netflix. I'm getting hyped. I'm getting hyped. It's that feeling that baseball season, even though this tournament is coming to an end, we're right there to the start of the new 2026 calendar year for baseball. Obviously, JV, how do you feel about that? With obviously this pushing us right into the next baseball season.
I think it's perfect. Like I said, it's like a really really important tournament, and then all of a sudden you go right into the opening day. So it's baseball that you get for 3 weeks that you don't usually have, and then we have this phenomenal tournament, which I think is the best thing that's happened to the game in a long time. Besides all these other rule changes that have happened, I think adding this game, I've said this many times that we've been talking about the WBC and the tournament in general, is that it just brings more eyes to the game. I think
I agree.
we have to get youth, an injection of youth back into this game. And I think all these young kids around the world and the globe being able to watch this tournament is just, to me, a brilliant idea, and I think it just makes the game that much better.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see whoever does face Team USA in the final. We'll maybe make it short as a prediction, but still keep in touch with our season projections that have been coming out at a rapid pace. We're almost done with them, heading right into the next season, which I'm absolutely hyped about. I know JB's hyped about. And when that season starts, just buckle up because the content's going to be coming out at a rapid pace, and you guys are going to be excited hearing us, obviously, more long debriefs on specific games, specific series that are going to be involved. So stay tuned. Make sure to subscribe. JB, you have any final thoughts, obviously?
No, this was a great WBC. Like we said, we basically have 2 games left. Obviously, we have Italy and Venezuela deciding whether or not which one of those guys goes to the final, and then obviously the final. So this was, to me, a better WBC. Than I expected. Honestly, I knew there was a lot of hype coming in, but I could have had a better WBC experience. I thought this was great. I thought a lot of guys played well, and like I said, this American pitching was really something that pushed them to the forefront of getting to the final. So, just one more game they got. That's it. One more game, bring it home, and hopefully they can clinch their first WB title since 2017. That'll be great for the country.
Yeah, I think kind of even wrapping it up, I think even for Venezuela or Italy, these are major opportunities for either countries because it's like you don't get this opportunity a lot. And Italy, the run that they're on, I've been so fascinated watching that. I'll
Yeah,
be honest.
it's been unbelievable,
It's been,
unbelievable run.
and you know what? At that point, even though they eliminated Mexico, I tip my cap to them because it's all like, bro, who would have thought they would
Yeah,
be in this situation right here? Not me.
I mean, Francisco Cervelli was literally driving around Italy, right before they had qualifiers and stuff like that, and getting this team together to actually recruit players to get onto the team. So if you want to see how much determination he had to put a good team together, he was literally driving around Italy asking guys, "Hey, you want to strap it up and get this going because we need players." So it shows the heart and determination that Cervelli had getting this team together, and kudos to them. They've had a magical run.
and it's now or never for either of those two teams tomorrow, but always let us know what you guys think in the comment section. We love hearing your guys' opinion. Make sure you guys are subscribing here to JBM Sports Media. We appreciate you guys. And as always, we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Thanks.